Hi, Natalia.
Hi there.
Welcome to I've Never Met a Woman Architect Before podcast with Michelle Grace Hoddle. That's me. This episode is brought to you by the Synthetic Grass Store. Family owned and operated since 2006. They are a nationwide warehouse distribution of wholesale turf. They partner with architects, realtors, contractors, and design professionals to deliver premium turf solutions for any project. You can call the Synthetic Grass Store today for a free quote at 602-491-2989. And brought to you by Arizona Turf Masters. Also, since 2006, they've been transforming landscapes across Arizona. Their services include premium artificial grass installations, luxury putting greens, hardscape surfaces, and a full range of innovative design-build solutions for residential and commercial projects. You can call Arizona Turf Masters today for a free estimate at 480-751-4343. And today, my guest is Natalia Zieman Hayes. She's a principal at Dust, an architecture studio in Tucson, Arizona, where she's been working for the past 5 years. Natalia's experience spans over 16 years and includes a wide range of project types, scales, and regions. She has overseen projects from initial design concepts through construction and coordinated large teams for complex projects, many of which have been internationally recognized. She is passionate about designing spaces that are conceptual and sensitive while honoring their connection to the environment and cultural roots. Natalia grew up in Dallas, Texas, and graduated from the University of Texas at Austin. Before joining Dust, Natalia spent over a decade working at Studio Rick Joy, where she played a key role in designing and managing the studio's work and team. Hello, Natalia.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for joining me. Here I am in a hotel room in Joplin, Missouri, visiting my parents. And no, I am not from Joplin, Missouri. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I moved to California when I was 17. So when people ask me if I miss the seasons, no, I do not. I can tell you that much. It's been a lot of rain that they need here, but I do not like driving in it. So, what are your so how are you doing at end of summer? Did your kids started back to school, I
They
suppose?
did, yeah. I have two little kids, ages 4 and 6. They're back in school. We're in full swing here at the office. Yeah, things are well. It's finally cooling off here a little bit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Fall
You know,
is
I've never
really
been to
nice.
Tucson. I've never been to Tucson.
It sounds great. It's
No,
beautiful.
I'll stop.
It's
I'll come by. I'll go south instead of north to Phoenix, right? When I go.
yeah,
My
yeah.
my aunt actually graduated from the University of Phoenix in Tucson
Okay,
a long
nice.
time ago. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. She has a degree in education. Um, so what are your first recollections of experiencing architecture?
Well, I grew up in Dallas, um, and I think some of my earliest recollections would be my parents are really into art and culture, and we had for a number of years a family membership to the Kimball Art Museum over in Fort Worth. And so I remember on weekends we'd get up on Saturdays and we'd drive over to Fort Worth and we'd spend the morning at the Kimball. And I mean, looking back, it's incredible to have that as such I don't know, it's a big memory for me. I remember the handrail, going up the entry stairs. And my mom, she would like check out the audio tour. And then my dad would take my siblings. I have two siblings. He would take us and we'd kind of do the fast tour. Where we'd go at whatever pace we wanted to as kids, and then we'd
Yeah.
hang out in the gift shop and we'd look through all these books,
Uh-huh.
waiting for my mom to, do the tour at her pace. But that was, I mean, it's such a great museum, fantastic piece of architecture, super inspired by his work, in that museum. And so that I think helped mold some of my experiences as a child,
Uh-huh.
as did other um, buildings in Dallas. I think we grew up and I did all sorts of performing arts. So I was always in ballet theaters. I did ballet, orchestra performances, symphony performances, choir,
Mhm.
opera. And so my family, we went to a lot of those performances. And then I also performed in a lot of those venues. And that was really special as a kid and as a teenager growing up doing performances. There was this old theater, this I think it was like built in the 20s, and it was like an early vaudeville theater called the Majestic Theater. It's been renovated a few times, but that's where I did all of my ballet performances. And I had this super ornate detailing and these red velvet curtains and chairs, and I knew the whole theater. I knew the whole, backstage. There were these like secret tunnel type spaces. And it was super fun to play in that theater as a kid.
That was in
Um,
Dallas.
I was in Dallas, yeah, in
Okay.
downtown Dallas.
Um, I took classical ballet. I always liked classical ballet. So people would always say, "Oh, did you ever take tap?" And I said, "No, I never took tap." I took, I think that was kind of like what people, I don't know, I don't know, back in my days, like a lot of people, I think my mom had taken ballet. And so she
Mhm.
like asked, so I went to this studio that was in downtown, Dormont, and it was up these stairs, and then you would go in, right, and then you have these huge, you know, dance studios with the wood floors
Mhm.
and the mirrors. I just always kind of remember that. And I enjoyed it. I played the flute, but I never, it's like I went to art school and on Saturdays during high school, so I didn't have, I didn't want to, right? You can't do all of those things. I can't do all this. Um,
Yeah.
and it's funny with the Kimball. I've never been to the Kimball. I feel like I have to because it's literally probably like half the people that I interview say that that's one of their favorite buildings, either that or the Salk Institute. But I've been to the Salk Institute because San
Hmm.
Diego, so that's easy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And then did your parents weren't architects though, right? They
No,
weren't.
they weren't,
Yeah,
but very into
yeah,
art and culture,
yeah,
and historic urban downtowns. We would go, I
yeah.
remember sometimes we'd just go exploring. I don't know, there would be a new cafe that opened up downtown in this kind of, up and coming area. And my dad would read about it in the newspaper and be like, let's go check it out.
Uh-huh.
And we
Uh-huh.
lived kind of in a historic neighborhood near downtown. And so just driving around as a kid, um, seeing all these, beautiful historic homes and buildings. I think that was super inspiring and fundamental to my understanding of what architecture could be and is. I remember there's a mall that we went to as a kid, the North Park Mall, and they had these planters, these brick planters that it's like the flooring swoops up and becomes the planter, and
Oh
so
yeah.
and they're quite tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a kid,
Yeah.
they were, it was kind of like a playground in a sense. Like you'd run, you'd take your shoes off and you run, and you'd run up
Uh-huh.
and then you'd slide down the planters.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just, yeah, that mall was fantastic. There was a fantastic art collection that was always in the mall, fantastic plantings, landscape. Um, and yeah, it was great to grow up in an urban city like that and
Was it
um,
indoor or outdoor mall?
indoor mall.
Indoor mall. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like we would go, I don't know, the other buildings that stand out to me as a kid are there's the Hall of State, where the Texas State Fair is. And
Oh,
so it's
okay.
this like a really cool Art Deco building with really tall ceilings,
Uh-huh.
really ornate, all these mosaics, and just exploring that as a kid, going to the state fair and seeing all this. There's like a collection of pretty cool buildings there at Fair Park.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know whether you've included any of those in, but what three classic buildings do you like and why?
Um,
And not, like classic, like people, it's like iconic, whatever. Like, yeah, we're not getting into the whole classical thing. But anyway,
yeah,
even though I do love classical buildings, I just don't want to be forced to do them.
yeah, no, I get it. I think first of all, there's a lot of, I don't know, if I think about, um, what would be my favorite building? I think there's a lot of buildings that I know about that I haven't been to. And so I've been thinking about when you sent me these topics, kind of like buildings that help shape my understanding of architecture. Um, I think that, my first understandings of architecture growing up in Dallas were me as a kid, and then more as an adult, I would say one is there's a project that Tadaondo did with James Turrell
uh,
um, on Naoshima Island in Japan. Um, and it's a art piece. There's all these different art projects around Naoshima and Tashima Islands. It's part of the Bennessee Art House projects.
uh,
And so it's this piece that's called Minamidera, and it's such a strong. I mean, it's more of an art piece than an architecture. But Tadaondo did the building that the Terrell piece is housed in.
okay. Yeah. The,
Um,
the light,
so it's
the
a
light
beautiful,
piece.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super simple building. And then it's just such a strong experiential, strong sensory experience where you go in and you're I don't want to give it all away, but you're led in to the building. And as you enter, it gets darker and darker and darker until you're in complete darkness.
Uh,
And you sit down and you're kind of like, what's going on? And then as your eyes adjust, you start to be able to see
mhm,
these like very low light um, uh, spaces.
mhm.
And it's incredible. And I think an experience like that, it was super moving, and it's an example of how architecture and art can shape an experience. And it's about the building, and it's about the art, and it's architecture and light, and that can
Yeah.
create a really powerful experience, and that was super inspiring to me.
I wonder if
um
he's going to get done with Rodin Crater anytime in my lifetime, in his
mhm,
lifetime, in his lifetime, maybe.
mhm.
Have you had
um
any experience with the Rodin? I know that he was asking ASU students to come over there and then other people, but have you had any experience with James Turrell's um, project
I
in the
haven't. i
Rodin
would i
Crater?
would i would love to visit it, but I have not had that opportunity. Would love to.
Oh, yeah. So
uh,
what's another one?
I think another one, a little obscure maybe, but it's the Sesqui Pompeia project in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I took a studio when I was in school that we visited Sao Paulo and worked
Oh,
with a university there. But the Sesqui Pompeia project by Lina Bobardi
oh yeah.
um, has been super influential to me. It's a community center, and it's
Mm,
part. It used most of the project used to be, it was like a steel drum factory. So
mm,
in these industrial spaces, and Lena wanted to do an adaptive reuse of that, which I think was maybe a little uncommon at the time. So part of it's an adaptive reuse of a industrial space, and then there's an addition, this really bold, brutalist architecture. And I visited there, and I was just super inspired. The place was alive. Like there were
oh,
people there, all kinds of people. The space was being used. Um, the way that it's laid out, there's like a central path, and the circulation encourages people to run into each other and bump into each other, and um, the scale is really nice. And then there's this big tall towers that have some of the sports spaces. But I really loved how well the spaces were used, and how um, it seemed like such a successful community space. There's libraries, restaurants, theaters, and it's all kind of open air. There's places to play chess, places to do homework, all of the gyms. Um, and then, I love Lena Bobardi's work, and I love how um, some of the works have this, brutalist, really bold architectural moves, but also at the same time, there's these little whimsical details at the project
Mhm.
as well. There's like these organic, curvy shapes, and there's little rivers that run through the floors of these industrial warehouses. She did all these like really whimsical drawings for the project and for a lot of her projects, um, on just like freehand sketches with color,
Uh-huh.
and um, yeah, super inspired by her work, and that
Yeah.
project.
Yeah. One of my friends did, but I don't know whether she mentioned that project or another one, but she's Brazilian. She's an architect from Brazil. So I interviewed
Uh-huh,
her like a couple of years ago
uh-huh,
for the gift list thing. So she did have one of the projects, but I forget which one it was.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Lena Bobardi's her house is really cool as well. Her house and studio, it's totally different. It's a really light, a light project with glass and light steel. And then she did a museum like in one of the main streets in downtown Sao Paulo, which is also super powerful, bold, iconic,
Yeah.
red, hanging from
Yes. And
these.
maybe that was the one. Because I can remember that
Yeah.
there was that there was a plaza in front and then like a big old red thing kind of up above the building, I
Yes.
think.
I like that
Yeah.
museum.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think what was inspired by the Sesqui Pompeia, I think that project was just so alive. It felt so alive. And as a student to see, these community spaces, because sometimes I don't know, I worked on a few community spaces projects in school, and it was really really impactful to see such a well-loved and well-used project.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I think another would be the San Francisco de Assis Church in Taos. Um, and it's such an iconic structure. Do you know of it?
Is it yeah, I think I do.
It's
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of
been,
the
photographed,
is it
and
the older one? Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's been photographed. Yeah, I think
it's the older one. And
I've never been to Taos though. Yeah. So yeah.
oh, Taos is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been so many times, and it's one of those buildings that I like to stop there every time we pass through.
Hmm.
And that they when the I mean the church was built in the I think early 1800s. And it's a sculptural Spanish colonial church with these
Is it the one
massive.
that does George O'Keeffe paint it? Did she paint
She
it?
has
Yeah.
painted it,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, then
Yeah,
that's
it's got these
probably yeah,
huge
yeah.
buttresses,
Yeah.
round, and
Yeah.
um I'm just super inspired by it. I think every time I go, I see different patterns and shapes and light, and the shadow's different and the light's different. I really like the back side of it because there's no penetrations, there's no windows, there's no doors,
Mm.
and so it's this sculptural, beautiful um, object, almost like a sculpture
Yeah.
that changes
Yeah.
every time you see. And they built the road, like instead of building the road by the front of the church, they built the road so when you're like arriving, you see the back side of the church first,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I think that,
Yeah.
in relationship with that, the Taos Pueblo, I would say, is equally
Yeah.
inspiring. Um, One of the oldest continuously inhabited spaces. Um, People have been living there for, I think, over 1,000 years.
Hmm.
Uh, and just the spaces and the urban spaces. So the paths, the walkways through the buildings, the massing of the different levels of the structures, and how the artisans are living there. You can see them, talk with them. Um, Super inspired by those people and those buildings. Um, and I like to continue to go back and see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I've never been to Georgia O'Keeffe. I've been to Santa Fe, obviously. And then like one of my friends lives in Madrid. So we've kind of been, I mean,
Oh, nice.
he's an architect, but he's got all of these airstreams. He's got all this property and he's got all these airstreams there because he renovates them and then sells them. And but yeah, but I want to go north to Georgia O'Keeffe's house because I just always think that it's like amazing that she went there, years ago, like by herself, right? And you look at the
Mm-hmm.
terrain, and I mean, she drove there, and it must have taken her like, 2 or 3 days or something. It took
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 days to get up there. um, yeah, and then of course
Yeah.
all of the I've seen a lot, I've seen Bandelier, and then a lot of the other Mesa Verde and all those structures, but I've yet to get to Chaco Canyon, which
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
yeah, I did a
Really
project.
incredible.
It just is always rained out when I go there. But so it's but I did a project in college. I took a Native American Studies class, and it was by this one anthropologist. And so we had to do research on different places that and different peoples. And so I did Chaco Canyon and kind of recreated the whole thing out of plasticine. It's which I think it was nice to kind of like, go through all of that. It's kind of like, I was in architecture school, but it was a general ed class. It was kind of nice that I could actually do something architectural and
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's, yeah. And then we had to present some of it. Yeah. It's on my bucket list of things, the many things that I need to see in the world.
Yeah, the whole
So
northern New Mexico landscapes are incredible. The buildings, there's Georgia O'Keeffe's house. There's also the
yes, yeah,
the
yeah. And I've been to the
Fachin house.
museum, but that's not, she didn't do that. But yeah. So where else in New Mexico then?
There's the Fachin house, the Fechin house. It's a Russian artist that built a house
Oh,
up in
okay.
Taos, which is also super interesting. It was a beautiful. He was a woodworker, so there's a lot of wood details, and he did a lot of charcoal sketches, which are shown in the house. Really amazing.
So what do you like about being an architect?
I think I like the diversity and how I get to use my brain. I think it's a nice balance of being able to be really creative and then being logical and using order as well. So like right brain, left brain. Um, Always felt that tug as growing up and kind of appreciating the diversity of the things that I get to do. So I get to,
Mhm.
be sketching. I get to be dreaming about spaces, and then I can also be working on the computer. I can be on calls. I can be putting together drawing sets and construction details. I can be out on site on a construction project. Um, I like learning. I really like learning. So I like learning from all of the consultants that we partner with,
Mhm.
who are the experts in their fields. Um, I like being able to, yeah, think about these experiences, think about experiences that bring me joy, um, and, spend time and effort and love on projects to create that experience for other people to experience that as well is super meaningful. Um, yeah, I like how architects, we take a lot of information, right, from the different
Yeah.
consultants, from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
clients, from the site. And we're able to digest all of this information and then in turn create something. We create an experience. And then we also, create the documents to create the experience.
Yeah.
Um, and so I like that process. I think it's a beautiful process, and I think um, it's something good to strive after. Um, and yeah, I like speaking with the clients. Um, I've worked with a lot of clients so far in my professional experience, and they're all different. And so it's interesting to see what they bring to the project because I would say
Mhm.
that a lot of our work is shaped by our clients,
Yeah.
and their
Oh, yeah.
dreams and
Yeah,
their
exactly.
experiences
Yeah.
and their um,
Yeah.
what they notice about the site and what they love about the site and how
Mhm.
they want to live. And so that also, I mean, every site and then every owner um, is a completely new experience. And so it's nice and it's exciting to partner with them in
Is
creating
most of
something
your
really
work, I
special.
mean, I can remember like, and I don't know which one you're married to, but, really, or not married to, uh, but they came and spoke at the AIA CRAN symposium, and
Mhm.
most of the projects look like they're out in very remote areas, right? Very much, well,
Yes,
with the land. I mean, do you do any work that is it like in a neighborhood or has like
we do. We
setbacks
do. So,
or no? You do,
yeah,
okay.
a bit more back. So I'm married to Cade. Um,
I know, but I don't know which one Kate is. So it's like I
okay.
forget which one Kate is. They were both on the
Yeah.
stage, right? Like one is a little bit bigger and the other one is like thinner. Yeah.
Cade is probably the thinner of the two.
Okay. Okay. All
He,
right.
yeah, I met him when I moved to Tucson, and then I was still working at Studio Rick Joy. But we got
Okay.
married like 12 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then 5 years ago, I decided that I was ready for a change. And so then there was a space available at Dust. So I joined Dust. And yeah, we're a team of around six right now.
Okay.
Um, but it was founded by Cade and Jesus back in 2007. So they knew each
Mhm.
other from school at Texas Tech, and then started the practice in 2007. And then a lot of the work that Dust has done is out in the landscape.
Yeah.
Um, we've done a handful of houses, and we've done a hummingbird pavilion for the
Mhm.
Tucson Bird Alliance down in Patagonia, Arizona, which is down in southern Arizona, about an hour south of Tucson.
Okay.
Um, but we've also done a handful of urban projects. We have, a handful here in downtown Tucson. One is a restaurant, cafe, bike shop, kind of historic renovation remodel. We've done a handful of smaller kind of urban infill projects here in Tucson. Um, we have a project right now under construction in Texas. It's a residence ranch house. And then we've done a handful of smaller hospitality projects as well.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, we
I didn't know
we
because those are kind of the ones that I was like looking at and they're kind of more conceptual and I didn't know whether that was and then you guys did the porch, weren't you invited to do the porch project or something for the
yes, we were invited
Venice
to put together
Biennale?
something for the Venice Biennale, which was super fun,
Hmm.
big team effort. And so we put together a piece uh, um, on that was based off of some ideas from the Patagonia project, the Hummingbird Pavilion, but also kind of our understanding of place, our understanding of landscape, our understanding as us here in Southern Arizona. Our porch is the borderlands. Our porch
Yeah.
is our
Yeah.
porches. We look to, okay, what is a porch? What are the first
Yeah.
examples of porch? And there's native structures here. It's called the Watteau, which is porches that have been around for way, way, way before other people. So just
Yeah.
looking at first examples of porches and what does that mean to us, and then what does it mean to be living here in Southern Arizona. But super cool. We worked together, and then it's still there in Venice, and that was great piece to put together for
Did you
the
go
events
over there?
we
you
did
go over
not.
there?
One no.
Okay.
It was a busy time. One of the guys in the office, he was able to go over.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Somebody was able to make it over there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're interested. So we love the residential work, and that's always going to be part of our portfolio and the work that we pursue. And I think we're also looking to branch out a little bit and be able to do more cultural work. So we'd love to do spaces where lots of people can come and experience them.
Mm.
Spaces that can help create experiences for all types of people, whether it's in urban areas or in landscapes. And so we have a few things in the works, but really, I mean, I think gets to the next question about the future of architecture, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
just go into that.
Yeah. It's like I've done residential. People are like, oh God, how of you, other architects are like, how have you been able to do residential this whole time? And I'm like, I don't know. I said, it's just basically me. And then maybe I'll get a consultant to do, like, I have these 4 houses that I'm doing. And so I had a consultant do that. And then I'm also, you know, um, working with strong design and mass engineering, in the Mesa, Arizona area, because I'm licensed over there now. And so maybe I'll get somebody to like help me with like construction documents. But typically I just do a lot of the work myself. And I was invited to do a design competition in the downtown La Mesa area for this one church. And I think because I had done stuff for this La Mesa History Center, a small project for them, I think they referred me over there. And then I was also planning commissioner for 12 years there. But I mean, at first, like you're thinking, oh, can I work on some type of like bigger project when it's just me or it's just but I was probably the smallest team because I was really there most of the time. And then I had a consultant come, but then I also had my 2 sons come. And one of them just kind of worked on the site analysis. And the other one actually, he's an animation major. So he kind of did it. And and I did the project and then like there were 3 other teams and they were all team one of the, and I was like, gosh, I can do this. It's like, kind of there. People were saying, oh, can you transition from like resident? And I said, well, it's not like I've never worked on any larger projects. I mean, I worked on the Beverly Hills Waterworks project, where they have the motion picture arts and sciences. I was a consultant back in the day, a long time ago. And that's like, that's a huge building and they've got that, um, but it's like sometimes people are like, oh, how do you transition from like a residential project? And even I mean, Tom Kundig talks about it. And he's like, yeah, it's like the residential work is kind of the laboratory for doing other projects that are larger, right? Because you can do a lot of things with, you can experiment a lot with residential projects on a smaller scale, and then use some of those same concepts or details or things on a larger scale.
Yeah. Totally.
And they're connecting, it's all about space. So it's like, as long as people get scale correctly, which, I don't even know whether that could be taught. It's more of a feeling, I think. I mean, I like that do you always use concepts? Because I like I might have a concept and I might not even tell a residential client about it, because if they've kind of talked about what they want to do or what they want it maybe to look like or something. I mean, I might have a concept in my head that I might, I might just do it as kind of, a design concept that's like a physical one, but in my head, I might have like something that might be more metaphorical, but it just kind of depends on whether I think that the people, whether they're into that or whether they're going to, if they come to me with more of a metaphor, then I work with the metaphor. But, if they come to me with more kind of like literal, like spatial thinking process, then I kind of go with that. So.
I think I would say for us, a lot of our clients come with, ideas, but I think also it's a very, it's a process. So I feel like rarely do we have a concept in mind already before we start
Yeah.
the process with the
Yeah.
client and the site. So it's a process of discovery. So we get on site with the clients and we talk with them and um, we listen. We listen to the site, we listen to the land, we listen to
Mhm.
the clients and just hearing and then we'll start to work out different schemes and we listen we look at what the sun is doing, what the wind is doing, what the
Yeah.
you know we study all of these things and then we come together and we might have a few concepts and then we present those. This is like our typical process. We present
Yeah.
those and
Yeah.
sometimes the
Yeah.
concepts will, they'll get a name and sometimes there's like the small, medium, large concepts is just showing the different scales that could be worked on.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I would say it's more of a process of discovery. Um, Even in the materiality, we often have clients that come to us wanting um, either a mass material or rammed earth, or we've done projects with compressed earth block, projects with scoria, a pulverized lavacrete, um, and we've done projects with ICF. And so it's interesting. We I think we attract a lot of like-minded clients who also
Yeah.
have a deep appreciation for the land and for being stewards of the land and creating an experience that helps strengthen that connection with the earth. And
Mm.
that's really beautiful, and it's really beautiful. I'm just thinking of a handful of clients we're working with now, and it's a really lovely process to talk with them about these design concepts because they're on board. They're so excited um, to see what the project could be.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I tell I mean, sometimes you'll be interviewing with somebody and they like want you to like come up with some like, and it's not like that. It's like I have to get to know you. I mean, I like joke around and say I'm
Yeah,
not a Tinder architect. Like I don't like show up and like throw something out, and then like
exactly.
leave. You know.
Yeah.
um. So, what would you like to say about the future of architecture?
Um, I think for me and I mean, our office right now is alluding to this. I think we're excited for the future. We're excited for new building typologies,
Uh,
being able to continue to do residential, but also kind of stretch our minds in different ways at bigger scales with different organizations.
hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm excited to continue the work. I think every project is new and exciting for me. Um, I think I would love to work on spaces that, or I guess I would like to continue to work on creating spaces that really strengthen the connection between us and the landscape, or even like healthy spaces,
Hmm.
spaces for contemplation, um, spaces to be able to feel something.
Hmm.
I think back to like a lot of the experiences and some of the experiences that I've had that just really make me feel whole as a human are out in nature, um, or in some of these pieces of architecture that I've been able to visit, like the Terrell and Ondo piece. Um, there's a really old bathhouse in Japan that I was able to spend time in where the dust specks in the air as you're like sitting there in this really tall wooden room with the hot pools in it. So you're sitting in these, it's kind of a dark room. There's no
Yeah.
lights. It's just daylit. And then you look up and there's this, like the specks of dust are just glowing like gold flecks.
Yeah.
And I think just having moments like that in my life is really inspiring just to see beauty in the world. And I think that's what I would aspire to do is be able to create spaces that bring beauty to the world, and kind of can create those experiences for other people. Um, being able to slow down and notice things. I think our world is getting very fast and very computer oriented, and so I feel like for me, the spaces that make me notice things and notice the details. And I think working on projects that can help do that is very much a goal for me. And I get excited to be able to continue and do that if I think about the future.
Okay, is there anything else you want to say?
I don't know. I thank you for having me on.
Okay, thanks.
It's been nice to chat about these things and be thinking about these things, and excited to keep on doing our work.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
Exactly.
That's our purpose. It's our life
Yeah,
purpose.
really
That's
thankful
our
to
purpose.
be where I am. Huh?
No, I said that's our life. That's our life purpose. I said, like, I think that's our life purpose. That we're like creators, and can do this, and
Yeah.
so,
And it's nice to, I don't know, I've been thinking also about, yeah, Kate and I have two little kids, and it's really meaningful to try and share our work with them. We've
yeah.
taken them on a handful of work trips and site visits and project sites, and I I find a lot of joy in that. I mean, I spend a lot of time at work, and so being able to share that with my kids and do work together with my husband is really meaningful. Um, to be able to do something that we're passionate about together with Jesus and the rest of the team,
Uh-huh.
and create an office where people can have kids and people can be following their dreams, and we can make that work, and we can go towards a common goal. And yeah, it's really meaningful and exciting.
Yep. Now I have housekeeping here, and I don't know whether you can hear it up there or not. Hopefully the Zoom won't pick it up, but I
No, I
guess
can't
I'll
hear
have to
anything.
cut things
I
short.
think you're good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on. And yeah, my kids are older now, they're like 25, 27, and 31, and I still, it's like, I still think, I'm still thinking about the world that we create and the world that we live in, and how important it is to do things to, kind of keep that for them. So, can you hear that? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the tape. Thanks.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
And thank you
Thanks for
to
having me.
Synthetic Grass, the Synthetic Grass Store, and also Arizona Turf Masters. Thanks. Yes. Hold on a second.